Woo!
Ooh.
Alrighty! I think you just like my apartment because it's somewhere for you to scream.
Yep.
And I get all the noise complaints.
So I love the studio.
I love the stew. I'm cooking in the stew.
Oh, all right, you want to kick it off?
Mr. Gorbachev.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Mr. Gorbachev.
Turn up this podcast.
I'm in this for the money and the pussy, and they're both falling off the trees.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 55 of the Reasonable Doubt Podcast.
55!
55.
The
of
oldest
Reasonable
woman
Doubt.
Josh has ever had sex with.
Whoa! I feel like I'm way older than that, buddy. And you know it. Hold on, I'm going to make sure it's 55.
It is 55.
It is 55. Welcome to episode 55 of the Reasonable Doubt Podcast. We have a treat for you today. We sit down with the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend,
J-Me
J-Me Shrier. As always, we are your hosts, C. Griff.
And Chicka J Money.
How you doing? But before we get into that, we got some stuff to talk about.
Welcome to NPR.
Welcome to NPR.
We do have some stuff to talk about.
In the news today, big news. This is really important to the State of the Union. The catalytic converter has been stolen off of the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile.
How's it really?
Yeah, someone stole the fucking cat off of the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile.
That is hilarious, dude.
I know.
They're like, yeah, I'm going to fuck this relic because I need like $100.
Just like, we're guys who steal catalytic converters, right? The lowest forms of human possible. Yes. The biggest pieces of shit. Then they see the Wienermobile and they're like, that's inconspicuous.
Yeah, that's the one I want to take a sawzall to the bottom of.
Yeah, no one's going to notice anything gone on this thing. How do like junkyards square that?
What do you
know
mean?
What I mean? Like if someone shows up with like 4 cats. You know they're stolen.
Yeah, like you do, but you also there's also guys who run little junk shops and they'll bring in like 4 or 5, so they're legit.
Okay.
Or like mechanics and stuff. They save their catalytic converters and they'll just show up.
So it's like, what do you think? It's like 50-50?
No.
Much more stolen.
I bet there's much more stolen than not stolen.
I can't imagine. That's got to be the fucking, like, I mean, waking up to your window smashed is one thing, right?
Waking up, you don't think anything, and then you start your car, and you're like, oh, someone stole the cat.
Well, this is just great.
Yeah, well, awesome. I'm going to drive to work now sounding like a fucking Ford Model T.
I think cars had so much more substance when they were like Model Ts and Model As and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You had to start them with like a crank.
Yeah. You had to be fit to drive a car back in the day.
Yeah. You had to like get this big like bar and walk out to the front of your car.
Yeah, no fatties were allowed.
I think you should still have to start a car like a lawnmower.
Oh yeah, just
like with a ripcord.
Yeah. Man, speaking of ripcords, I've got to put a ripcord into a chainsaw.
Okay.
I got a chainsaw of the garbage. Well, it was there. It looked fine. And I was like, I'm taking this chainsaw.
Yeah.
It needs a ripcord, and then I don't think there's anything else wrong with it. It looks like maybe the one primer line was popped, but I've reconnected them, and it looks okay.
You're going to have a chainsaw.
I'm going to have a chainsaw.
Watch out, world. Christian Griffith's got a fucking chainsaw.
For free. I love getting shit out of the garbage, honestly.
I know.
I love, like...
It's a very gray area on, like, whether or not, like, I don't know. It's kind of embarrassing to get certain things out of the garbage.
Yes.
Like your food.
Oh,
you know
my
what
God.
I mean?
Yeah, that gross.
Sucks. Clothes out of the garbage, that sucks. But if you see something cool...
Oh, like a chainsaw. I got a Mac computer out of the garbage once.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Did it work?
Yeah.
It's crazy what people
for
throw
a few
away.
Years, yeah. It's crazy. I like turned it on and I was like, this is a functioning Mac.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Wait, that was the Mac you had when we lived together?
No. That was a Lenovo.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say you fucking picked that out of the garbage.
Yeah, no. I'm actually in the market for a computer again, for a laptop.
Yeah.
Fuck. Prices have come down again.
You can just watch porn on your phone, eh? You don't need a computer. It makes it better, I admit, but I'm just saying.
Jesus. No, what I want, I need something that can do Pro Tools and like video editing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
That's my goal.
the thought of you on a computer doesn't make sense in my mind.
No, I don't love sitting for a long time.
It's the sitting for a long time, and it's the like. I don't know. You seem like an outside kind of guy.
I am an outside guy. I'm undoubtedly an outside person.
This is gonna change you.
Getting a laptop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One day I'm gonna come over and you're gonna be like, "This is my Steam account. Look at all the video games I play." And I'm gonna be like, "This isn't Christian."
Yeah, what
This
happened?
isn't
Are you
you.
okay, dude?
There's a crabapple patch we could go check out. Like, you'd be fine. Oh, what else I got for this fucking week? I got just some jumping off points. How fucking cool is roller derby?
Yo, are you talking about the roller derby clips that have been flooding the Insta?
Yeah, I've been seeing tons of fucking roller derby clips.
They're dope, honestly.
Which is something I've always known has existed.
Yeah,
but I've never really
watched it.
checked out.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen it till it came on there.
It's the coolest fucking thing.
Yeah, it is. I quite like those little clips.
Yeah, dude, they're so violent. I don't understand how the scoring works.
No, and they just deck each other.
They just deck each other. It just seems like, all right, we're going to roll around this rink for 30 minutes and beat the piss out of each other.
But there's like a race going on as well.
Yeah, there's like a race.
Yeah.
Like, I think how it works is one person on your team scores, and you get a point every time you do a lap, because they, like, fucking fling each other.
Yeah, I don't know if it's one person. I think they have to collectively,
Okay.
like, whoever their head person is has to keep going.
Okay. Because it seems like there's just people on the team that are enforcers.
Yeah, that's all they do.
Yeah.
Just knock other people out.
It's mostly a women's sport.
I don't know. I've seen a bunch of men's clips.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is it like wrestling, where the men's is kind of like the main one, and then the women's one is just like a sex thing?
No.
No?
I think it might be the opposite, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like the roller derby girls, that's like a thing.
Yeah, I know, but have you seen some of the roller derby girls?
Yeah.
Bertha.
Big Bertha.
Big Bertha.
Babs.
Is not in it for the sex appeal. She's in it to
Not for you.
knock bitches out.
Not for you. Some guys really like strong women.
Tiny little white dudes.
Tiny little white dudes.
Yeah.
She's going to wear me like a scarf. Just wrapped around it. Those guys have it made, though. Those guys got it figured out.
Oh, I guess.
Just taken care of.
They do just get taken care of. Which
Yeah.
I wish I didn't have the pride that stops that for me, you know?
You just want to get taken care of.
Yeah, like how nice would it be to just be a house husband?
Oh, fucking awesome, dude.
You know
It's a
what I mean?
dream.
Yeah, you're like just chilling.
Just chilling. You get to make dinner every day. Clean
Yeah.
the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking
It's
sounds
like, all
great.
right. That sounds fine to me.
Yeah, I could do it.
Yeah, but can't do it though.
No, not
Like I could do it, but my pride gets in the way.
Yeah, you'd hate it after a while. You'd look back on your life and
And you'd be
what
like,
the
wow,
fuck?
what did I do?
But you know, like sometimes when your girlfriend's like really, really nice,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You get like a taste of it. I think that's enough.
That's enough to be like, oh, okay, things are pretty good.
Things are pretty good. She like buys you dinner.
Yeah.
The whole house is
wow.
clean. She gets you a gift. Slides you like $50. You're like,
Yeah.
what the hey?
You're like, wow, look at my day.
Look at this. Is fucking great.
Yeah. This is awesome.
This is fucking fantastic.
Is this what it was like before Women's Lib?
No, but like also she's working.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, she like has your favorite activity lined up.
Yeah, that'd be sick, dude.
That it happens and it's awesome.
It does happen every once in a while. I get it, and I'm like,
But
oh,
I get suspicious.
always.
Always. If things are like if she's being like a little too nice and like goes out of her way too much.
Our
I'm
girlfriends were really nice to us a couple weeks ago with this.
And I know.
And I was like, what the fuck is
And
going
the
on?
whole week up to that was like
They were super nice.
I was like, what'd you do?
Yeah, what? I was like, the fuck happened?
Who'd you fuck?
Yeah.
Can you do it again?
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is fucking awesome. That's fun. What's new with you? What's in Christian's news?
Well, I've got a whole bunch of crazy shit, but I do want to kick off on something that I'm going to just keep coming back to because it's blowing my mind. Don't worry, it's not a certain fashion company. It's different.
Okay.
Alien activity has been on the rise.
It has been on the rise.
It has been on the rise.
They shot down like...
You can't hold us back anymore. Everyone, it's not fucking 64. It's not Roswell, okay? We got fucking phones. Oh, man, I'm so stoked.
They shot down like 5 UFOs last week.
I know. It's crazy.
And the White House released a statement yesterday saying that they're not alien or extraterrestrial, which means
they are
definitely alien.
Because when it first happened, they asked fucking like U.S. military heads were all in interviews.
Yeah.
And they're like, is this alien craft? And they were like, we're not ruling anything out.
Yeah.
I trust them way more than I trust like presidential address.
Well, yeah, they make the presidential address. I watched it, and they were talking about it, and someone asked if it was like, it could be alien. And they're like, it's not alien or extraterrestrial. And some guy, one journalist in the back who wasn't mic'd up, just goes, would you tell us if it was, though? I'm like, that guy, that's journalism.
That's true.
That's fucking journalism. Because they wouldn't tell you.
No, they would keep it a secret, man. That's what they've been trying to do for years.
Because, okay, the two things they would never tell you is if, one, it was aliens, because people would freak the fuck out. Right?
Yeah.
That would alter the whole planet forever. Right? And two, is if it was like, it could spark war. You know what I mean?
Here's what I'm afraid of. So, I actually have genuine fears. I was talking to our friend Dwayne.
Brian?
Yeah, Dwayne Bryan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're talking to D. Wade?
Yeah.
What's he think?
Yeah, you know Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, I know Dwayne Wade.
So
When you work in the entertainment industry, you'd meet a lot of people.
you meet a lot, and I'm big on basketball, so that's how I
Yeah,
came
me too.
into contact with.
Why do you laugh? You've never seen me take the rock to the hole.
You're right.
Continue.
You're right. So I was talking to him, and he made a valid point that he's like, this should be concerning.
So I'm picturing Dwayne Wade.
But it should be. It should be concerning that there's aliens, like multiple coming. What's with the sudden influx? And also,
It's the end times.
Also, is us shooting them down? Is this a bad thing? Like, we're shooting them down. Are we killing aliens? Because I'm gonna be honest.
Not a great way to start.
Not a fucking great way to start an interaction, A. And B, you can't just shoot down alien craft and be like, everything's gonna be fine now. Like, no, it's fucking not, dude.
That is a good point.
If they don't return and they just start sending more and more and more, guess what's gonna happen? I guarantee that their tech is better than ours, seeing as how they fucking got here from somewhere.
Yeah.
They might come here and fuck us up.
Mm-hmm. It's nice to live in the end of history, isn't it? It's like the fucking end of the world. It's nice to be here at the end, I think.
Is it, though?
Yeah.
I got shit I want to do, man. I still can't kickflip.
I still can't
Fucking, there's stuff I want to do.
Chemical trains exploding, giving like 40
They're
million
like,
people.
come on, give me one, give me one.
A War of the Worlds tripods, just like.
Brian, no, I can't right now. Christian, the world's ending.
We have to.
Hold on, I need one fucking kickflip. I haven't been practicing.
Not gonna work in the woods, okay? I need pavement. I need to do this now, then we can go.
Yeah. If I can get this, we can leave.
I just
pull up the YouTube how-to video, please.
Oh fuck! I do think about it sometimes. Like, what if
it's scary?
Like, the end of our civilization ends in our lifetime. How fucking crazy that would be.
Yeah, it's terrifying, man.
It is terrifying, but then also
like a mass extinction event.
Yeah, sucked to be a human like 100 years ago, though. Just be like them, like or like 1,000 years ago, just in like the middle of our civilization. You don't get to see the end. I'd like to see the end. I think if it's gonna happen, I'd like to be there. I would like to
be there. I want to know how it goes.
90% chance I'm not gonna survive it.
I would survive.
You think so? You can't even kickflip.
Yeah, but I would run like a motherfucker.
When the aliens come down and they're like, we're saving 10% of you, send your 10 most talented % of humans.
I would go.
Starting with, can they kickflip and can they dunk a basketball?
Fuck.
I know, we're fucked.
Yeah.
I can't do either of those things.
I want to be able to dunk is another. How much training do you really think it would take for me to dunk?
As a guy who's like, what, 6'3"?
Yeah.
Not much.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like it's quite a bit. I can't jump very high.
You need like a 20-inch vertical.
That's crazy, dude. My vertical right now is like maybe 5 inches.
My vertical's negative. I just fall.
Yeah. Crouch down and then just fall.
With a running start, though.
I mean, maybe.
You'd be able to dunk.
You think
I
so?
think it's entirely within the realm of possibility.
Maybe that's my goal for this summer.
Can Steph Curry dunk, do you think, if he really tries hard?
Probably.
Yeah, he's shorter than you.
Is he?
Yeah. Steph Curry's like 6'1", 6'2".
Okay. So he's like my height. He's just shorter than me.
Just shorter than you and a world-class athlete.
Yeah, like he's trained basketball day in and day out his entire life. His father is a famous basketball player.
I think you would have an easier time learning to dunk than kickflip.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably really good. Learning how to skateboard in your 20s is not... Like, it's not conducive, man.
I can still ollie.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're going to get really hurt skateboarding.
You think so?
Yes. I know a guy. You know a guy.
Yeah. Who
Brian,
tried. He gave up right away.
And he, like, broke his fucking arm.
And I was like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah. He's like 35, and he's like, I want to know if I can still ollie. Actually, I don't know if he's 35.
He's not that old.
No, I don't think so.
No.
I think he's like freshly 30, isn't he? Like 31, 32, something like that.
31?
I think, yeah, once you get in your 30s, you should really get people's ages right, or they're going to get really mad at you.
Yeah, they'll be like, you fucking
asshole. What? He's like 50.
Yeah, because it's true. You don't go, oh, that person's 27 when they're like 24.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're like, they're fucking like 24.
But if you were like 22 and someone called you 24, that's not that big of a deal. Have you noticed, I've kind of been thinking about this for a while. Dudes become friends with guys they work with, like, within a week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it doesn't, like, guys are just so nice to each other at work. I don't know
what
it
is.
Girls are not. No.
I listen to even the office girls at my work who listen to this podcast all the time. So I'll say this. Horribly rude to each other.
They hate each other.
I'm like, what? Be nice.
Like 3 days into working with a guy, I can like, all right, I'll be buddies with this guy. Yeah. He seems fine.
Yeah, as long as they seem fine, you're like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, girls are not like that.
I don't get it.
It's like, just try.
You got to spend so much of your life here.
Yeah. Yeah, you're here 8 hours a day. You think you'd want it to be a positive experience.
You'd think so.
It's not.
But then, like, within a week, I'm on, like, nickname basis with dudes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like
shooting finger guns and shit.
My journeymen, we're buddies.
Yeah?
We, like, hang and go hunting and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, you're buddy. Oh, we talked about this last show.
Yeah.
You guys are buddies.
We're buddies, yeah.
Like the Greeks were buddies.
Yeah, exactly.
Does
like
he listen?
That.
Does he listen?
No, but I think his girlfriend does.
Oh. All right.
But yeah, it's actually that is mind-boggling.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
It's what it is.
It's a stereotype that women don't.
We're just nicer.
We're just better.
We're just better at everything.
Better at everything.
Right? Isn't that what's
wrong? They would disagree, but that's what they do. So,
so we've been asked by multiple people to do comedy.
Have we?
Yeah, we committed to stand up.
Oh yeah, we got to do that this year. Year's early.
So we have to announce stand-up dates.
Okay.
Is the requirement. We have to announce days.
Like today?
No.
Okay, Jesus.
Yeah, today.
Yeah.
You have to announce a day that you're going to go, and we have to stick to it because people are going to show up.
Oh, That doesn't make it easier on me.
I know. It's okay.
I'm not good on stage, man.
Yeah, you are. You're great.
No, I'm not.
You have no anxiety.
I have tons. I picture everybody naked. I get this huge boner.
Picture everyone naked. Focus on the one hot girl.
I picture everyone naked, and I'm at Poacher's Arms, so I get really soft.
You're like, oh god,
you guys are gross.
I love it.
Just a room full of the sweatiest dudes I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if I'm allowed back there after the other day.
Why? What happened?
Well, I just got buckled.
No, we're good.
We're good?
Yeah.
Did I pay for everything while I was there? Are we good?
No, I paid for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I don't remember handing off any money.
I think you got 2 beers.
And I paid for those?
I hope so.
Yeah, me too. I kind of thought about it the next day. I don't want to be that guy that walks out on a bill.
No, you never want to be the guy who has a bill at a bar, and when you walk back in, they're like, you didn't pay.
Yeah,
pay your bill.
Fucking sucks. It happened to me one time at a well-known bar here, and I felt bad about it. I avoided it for a month.
Yeah,
after I got caught.
I've done it once, and I felt terrible.
Yeah, because, okay, it's not entirely my fault. I asked for my bill. They didn't include some things on it, and I was like, sick. I'm getting, like, a deal.
And they leave.
And then I left, and I showed up, like, a week later, and they're like, you gonna fucking pay for that? And I was like, whoa, son, asked for the bill. That's how this goes. You don't bring me part of it.
Yeah.
And then get mad at me for not paying it, but I still didn't go for like a month. I didn't show my face.
I will say there's like, if it's the bar I'm thinking of, they've done it before.
Yeah.
Where our friend who works the bar, he has a bill running, and then I tell the server when I go sit down, like, hey, buddy at the bar I have a couple drinks with him, and she's like, oh, okay, no problem, they'll transfer them.
Yeah.
And then it never happens, and I go back, and our buddy's like, yo, you gotta pay for this. And I'm like,
what the fuck?
The fuck happened? And he's like, oh yeah, so-and-so like didn't accept it or whatever, like they're an idiot. I'm like, oh, wow, cool. Okay, well, I'll pay for those. Yeah.
Do you ever do that, though? Like, do you ever, like, feel like you can't show your face in certain bars for a while?
Yeah. After I get real trucked at...
If I get real stupid, and I know, like, I can't even pick out in my mind what I said that was dumb. I just know I said something dumb.
Yeah, you're like, I was like,
I just made an ass of myself.
Yeah.
And all these people, I know them, and they know me.
And now I can't
And I have to wait until other people have done enough dumb shit.
That you can go back.
That, like, they've forgotten about my dumb shit.
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
It's good. It's self-awareness.
It is self-awareness. The last time it happened was because I fucking threatened to fight an old guy.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
At this bar I'm talking about.
Is it the bar I'm thinking of?
Yeah, it is.
Down the street there?
Yeah. I was like sitting at the bar with some friends, and I was in the pocket.
Yeah.
Like, I was drunk, but I wasn't wasted. I knew
enough.
And I was on that one drink where I get fighty.
Yeah.
You know the one. Where it's like I could throw hands. Before that, I'm too level-headed.
Yeah, and after that, you're just too drunk. And
after that, I'm too drunk and, you know.
Can't be bothered, yeah.
But I was in the fucking pocket, and there's this guy making a problem. He was being a problem in the bar. He was yelling at tables. He was walking around starting shit. He's starting shit with the bartenders. And I was like, oh, not on my watch. Not if I've got something to say about it. And he's like, this is my fucking city. This is my fucking city. And I stood up, like, right at him, and I was like, your fucking city? This is my fuking city, bitch!
Oh, I was with you.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember this.
And the bartender's like, Josh, sit down. I was like, okay.
I looked at you like, what the fuck? Yeah. Buddy's like, Josh, sit down. And you're like, yep, sit down. And I'm like, what are you doing? You're like, I don't know. I just got into me. Just got into me.
Yeah, dude, I don't know what got into me.
What the fuck are you doing? You're trying to fight this crazy old man.
The situation that the bar, like, totally had it under control. Like, bouncers were on the way.
Yeah.
He was cut off. It was going to be over in 2 minutes, and I was like, nah, I'll take care of this.
I'll deal with this one right here.
This one's on the house, fellas.
Yeah, like...
I probably would have got my ass beat.
And I'm sitting there just ignoring it, like looking at my beer facing forward. And then I hear you get up and, you want to fucking go? And I'm like, Are we really fucking doing this right now? Like, are we gonna fight an old guy? I don't want to.
That's the thing too. It's like if I win the fight, I'm kind of a loser for fighting this drunk old dude. And if I lose the fight,
you're a fucking pussy.
I got my ass beat by a drunk old man. I can't fucking be that guy. Oh, God, not good.
Oh, so good.
Not good. I gotta stop trying to fight people at bars that I work for.
That's fucking hilarious, dude.
Good, man. It's not good.
Aladdin is Chinese. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
Aladdin is Chinese.
What do you mean?
You know Aladdin? No, he's not.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
Okay.
He's
Why?
absolutely not. He's Chinese.
How?
The entire story was written like in the late 1800s.
Okay.
And he's Chinese. I hope I still have it up. Yeah, it like wherever it originates from. Where is Aladdin from? There we go. So in both Gallen's text and Richard Burton's popular 1885 English translation, Aladdin lives in a city of the cities in China.
The city of cities?
In a city of the cities in China is what they call it. Illustrations of the tale from the Victorian era depict the story and its characters as Chinese.
What was his name?
Aladdin.
His name was Aladdin. Aladdin. From China.
Yeah, but
was he an Arabic guy in China?
I don't know. Or I almost wonder if he's Mongol.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
There was that thing at the time in the Victorian part of history where anybody that wasn't from a major civilization was just depicted as brown and savage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, basically.
Like China was seen as this like the East, like the metropolises of the East and like a major thing. But if you went up to like Mongolia or like Siberia, they were just savages that lived out there, right?
Well, I mean, Siberia, they were kind of.
Sort of, yeah. Victorian times would have been like Russian Empire, yeah.
Yeah, then they would have been like hard motherfuckers. Mm-hmm. Just like bushwhackers.
Bushwhackers?
Just bush people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think they call it the steppe.
They lived with tigers, dude. Mm-hmm. They lived with Siberian tigers, like just roaming around in the wilderness. Back then, there was good numbers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? True. They literally would have been like, oh yeah, we live in the middle of this snowy forest.
Where nothing grows.
In the middle of nowhere. Nothing grows here except fucking trees that are useless.
And horses.
Horses and Siberian fucking tigers. That's insane.
That is insane.
And then what's his name? Big dick motherfucker comes down.
Genghis Khan?
What? No, Chinggis Khan also.
You can't call him that.
Chinggis Khan is how it's pronounced.
That sounds like a slur.
It's not. It's Chinggis. This is twice this has happened where I've properly pronounced.
That makes you such an asshole.
Well, I properly pronounced two Chinese names or one Chinese, one Korean name now.
What was the Korean name?
Chung. Oh no, that was with Dwayne.
Oh, okay. What's Dwayne?
This literally happened the other day. He's like, oh yeah, so and so, and I was like, oh yeah, from the show Chung, and he was like, dude, that's racist as fuck, and I was like, his name's Chung,
as opposed to what do people call it? I don't know.
He just thought he had a more white person name.
Who's
I don't know. Jung. It's actually Jung, but
who's Jung?
Jung is from Kim's Convenience. We were talking about how that guy blew up.
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
He's like in the All-Star game and shit, and he was like, he's boys with Giannis. It's pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
Giannis Antetokounmpo? No.
Antetokounmpo?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Fucking Greek names, man. Got the whole fucking alphabet in there. Calm down with the last names. Fucking, yeah. Okay?
But, no, not Genghis Khan. I'm talking about, what's his name? Russian dude.
Oh, Rasputin.
Rasputin. Big dick.
Did I pronounce that right?
Rasputin, yeah.
Okay.
Funny how you pronounce the Red Army so well.
He's not the Red Army. He was dead before the Red Army.
Was he?
Yeah, for sure.
That's okay. Nonetheless.
I digress. I digress. I pronounced the white guy's name right. Okay.
Fair enough.
Speaking of racism, we have a fantastic interview coming up.
Hold up. I got two more things.
All right, pick one of them. Pick the best one.
No, they're quick.
Okay.
One of them's fast. The Pontiac Sunfire is one of the last modern classics.
It's a fantastic car.
I love it.
Our buddy has
pointy, and I love that they're easy to work on, and I love that they're Pontiacs.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, fun fact for people.
Yep.
Arteriosclerosis is the thickening of the arterial wall resulting in cardiac arrest.
That is a fun fact.
Yeah.
That's a great thing to think about. What do you mean?
It's a fun...
It's not a fun fact.
It is a fun fact. Arteriosclerosis is like when the artery wall thickens, and then it usually
gives
causes
you a fucking heart attack.
A heart attack. Yeah, that's cool. You want a better one? All right, microwaves.
Yep.
Microwaves and radio waves that we use to communicate are the same thing, except one of them you keep in your house in an insulated box, and they tell people it gives them cancer because it does. The other one we broadcast all over the planet.
It's not that. Well, it's the same thing as it's the same thing as light.
It's the
same thing as ultraviolet light.
Same thing.
It's the same thing as X-rays. It's the same thing as infrared light.
It's the exact same technology.
It's the same technology, but it doesn't mean it all gives you cancer, Chris.
Who's to say? Who's to say?
Jesus, that might be one of the dumbest things.
Who's to say? I'm just saying. You start messing around with frequencies like that, not good.
Are you one of the guys that thinks FM radio is giving you cancer?
I don't think.
The only thing FM radio is giving you cancer with is fucking FM 96.
That's true.
That's it. That is damaging your health.
Yeah.
I can't listen to the fucking Arkells
They've
anymore.
They've turned into perverts actually on FM 96.
What do you mean?
They're just very perverse now. I have to listen to it sometimes in the van, and I'm like,
that's peak work truck.
Yeah, they like joke about the strippers and stuff
FM
all
96 the time. Hard rock, hard cocks.
Oh yeah, 90s bullshit.
Not your granddad station. We're serious. We're hard. This is Imagine Dragons.
I fucking hate FM radio.
Yeah, it drives me insane. I actually like AM 980 a lot.
I've become an old guy listening to AM radio.
Yeah, love it. It's good.
Listen to guys talk about like labor law.
Yeah, it's quality radio.
You ever tune into that where the guy they'll like take questions? It's like, well, your employer laid you off, but hired for your position after you're entitled to your severance pay. And I'm like, fuck yeah, bitch, get that.
Or breakdowns. You ever see the breakdowns when they'll break down like some new law coming out or like a new regulation? They give you a full rundown.
The only problem is sometimes I listen to AM radio when I was like leaving work at like 1 a.m. Yeah. And it would be like reruns of this horrible conservative talk show.
Oh, nice.
And it would be like, we basically live in communist Russia. And then you'd have guys calling in and be like, yep, I totally agree. We live. It's probably because of the pronouns. It's probably, I can't buy bread anymore because of transpanders. Like, oh, for fuck's sake. I can't listen to this.
I honestly love listening to it because I'm like, Jesus, there's literally no fucking hope.
There's no fucking hope. This guy's lived in his town of 2,000 people
forever.
His whole life.
You'll never change those
people. He's never seen an Asian person.
Yeah. Man, you know what astounds me is when you meet people from small towns.
Yeah.
And they come into London to work and like people of other cultures are so foreign to them that they're not even racist. Yeah. They're not like there's no like animosity there. They just say ridiculous things because they've never seen a person like that before.
They've never seen it.
And you're like, what? And they're like, well, I've just never seen a Chinese person before. And I'm like, that person's Korean. But anyway.
Can I tell you the story about my buddy who like grew up in a small town near Timmins?
No.
And there was like one Asian kid at his school.
Yeah.
Like the only one. And this is when he was really young, but this Asian kid was also like severely disabled.
So what? They just thought all Asian people were like
as a child that like being Asian was part of the disability.
Holy shit!
And then when he got to like high school and went to high school in a bigger town, there were other Asian people, and he had to be like, "Oh,
oh my God, they're normal.
Oh my God." Yeah, he thought like, yeah, he's got Down syndrome and he's from China. Like
that's how it works. That's how it works. Whole country is Down syndrome people.
A lot of hugs.
Yeah, a lot of hugging.
A lot of hugging. Not much gets done.
A lot of hugging, a lot of happiness, a lot of excitement.
big wrestling market over there.
Oh, God.
Anyway, speaking of making fun of the disabled, we have a great interview coming up. We talked to J-Me Shrier, open mic extraordinaire, musician, fantastic guy, has a beard, has a motorcycle, has a hot sauce company.
I guess to give perspective to people, we are trying to show you different aspects of the music industry because as a lot of people, it's your dream to be like a famous rock star
or podcaster
like us. There's also people who do music for a living and like gain a lot of enjoyment from life.
Yeah.
And it's not like that. And they're really necessary roles. And like J-Me obviously does his own music that you'll hear about and goes around like performing music. Mm-hmm. But he also hosts open mics, and open mics are very important for giving musicians a place to start and kind of, cut their teeth a little bit.
Exactly. Plus, just a funny, all-around great dude. Love talking
great
to
guy.
him. So, without further ado,
J-Me Shrier.
J-Me Shrier, ladies and gentlemen. We are here with J-Me Shrier, J-Me, the king. Interview number 1, the king of rock and roll, as he's been called. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Great to be here, finally.
Finally on the show.
I thought I was going to be the first guest you guys have. Turns out I wasn't. That's
okay. I consider this the first guest.
First guest? Right. We delete past episodes of the podcast.
We do. If I don't do the numbers I like, then they're gone.
All right, good.
And
first guest here. Honored to be your first guest.
Yeah. We've known each other for quite a few years now.
2016.
Something like that.
It's been a while.
Well, you were there. I don't know. You started later after me. But
yeah.
We met at a very cool restaurant,
drank together, partied together.
All things.
It's been a ride. The theme for all these interviews is musicians, obviously.
And you're going to kick it off.
So not Bonertime. That's
not Bonertime.
Bonertime? That's
right.
If you ever do a band again, that's got to be the name.
It was always going to be the name of a band. I think I wouldn't be able to play Kelsey's. Which is like my bread and butter right now.
So what's going on? What are you doing all the time?
What am I doing all the time? Like, what am I doing for work all the time? Or what am I doing every day?
You're doing music full time. Last time we talked, you said you're going pretty far. Like, you're doing a lot of Southwestern Ontario.
Yeah. Again, as I was saying before we started recording, it wasn't like the plan. I think the plan was to quit the industry, which I love. I miss it. I love the industry, restaurant industry.
Yeah.
The start of that, hot sauce business, which we can get into afterwards. And then the goal was to quit the industry, go full-time hot sauce, try to get some momentum there, and just do music on the side as a subsidy. And then totally unexpectedly, when I put it out into the universe that I was playing solo gigs, which I never did before, I just started getting, some really key calls from a few people, and that kind of started like a schedule, like an ongoing schedule. I'm playing 3-4 times a week, and I kind of just put the hot sauce on the back burner.
So to speak.
Yeah. So pun intended. Yeah. so to speak. It's still going, but then all of a sudden I'm realizing that, I never thought I'd say this, but making a living just doing music, I don't need to burn out doing, hot sauce full time also. So I just keep telling everybody, I'm like, it's probably only going to be busy for the next few months of music, and it just, it's already been 9 months, and
it's been 9 months that you've been going like this pace.
Yeah, because I guess we're in January. I think I quit in like March or April
and started doing this full time.
Yeah, because at the time I think it was like I think I just booked purposely like 2-3 gigs a week for a month, thinking it's going to totally die down after that. This is the time to quit. I can make money for a month. By then, hopefully, hot sauce, I'll have a little bit of steady income there. But sure enough, it just never slowed down music. And if anything got busier, I went from playing 2 gigs a month to sometimes playing 2 gigs in a day. And the way things are going and the places, I stopped playing the seedy bars that, most of my pay would go to drinking and cabs and all that stuff, and started playing the places where it was more sustainable and get on, like I said, like a steady roster of like every week playing like, one Kelsey's or one, another place, places come and go, but trying to get on a steady roster there. So it's made it possible. I never thought so.
Now you do the open mic at Winks.
Open mic at Winks, yeah, we're coming.
You used to do Poachers before that.
Yeah, 11 years did the open mic at Poachers, and then
that was like a pastime when you were doing Poachers.
That was what?
It was more like you did it on the side. It was like
music was always on the side.
Yeah.
I mean, I got paid for it. I mean, it was steady. I always said that that gig was always great. But yes, I mean, an open mic is more of a I guess labor of love that I always felt like there needs to be a place where musicians like yourself and maybe Josh one day can get up because they there's a million great musicians who probably only have 20, 30 minutes of music that they just always have in their head. To ask somebody to put together 3 hours of music or 3 45-minute sets, some of the best musicians I know just don't have it. So it's important that there's just always a place.
That's just real quick. It's so funny. If there's any musicians listening, probably getting super pissed because you're the only guy that just like fell into accidentally playing music as your job.
I know. I feel like
people
a dick.
aspire to that and then have other jobs to supplement that, and you just like. I guess.
Yeah. You know what I've said? I agree. I'm a total piece of shit. Especially, I've said this 100 times over. I mean, I've had some pretty good gigs. I played at Jack's every Friday for 4 years. I played at McCabe's.
Oh, I remember that. We used to go and see at Jack's all the time. I remember that.
Yeah, so I did. Yeah. I mean, I have been doing this a long time. I'm not just an open mic kid who accidentally fell into doing music. I've been doing music steadily for, coming on 13 years. Steadily. I always had a weekly gig. But that was it. I mean, it was always like once a week, not counting open mic. And now it's like every... And then when I went to Fellini's, I stopped doing that. It became like a 1 or 2 weekends a month, like 1 or 2 Fridays a month. But I have been doing it a long time, but I just never thought it'd be possible. I watched so many people struggle and want to be full-time. And yes, they have to supplement. They got to teach guitar. They got to... They got to deliver like the Western Gazette or whatever. Like the Chronicle. Or,
do you think that do you think that there was you could have done it sooner, but you just kind of held yourself back because it... It's
funny you say that. I have that conversation on a weekly basis where I said, this is so bizarre to me. I always, as you guys know, I always just sang in a band. I knew how to play the guitar. I always knew how to play, a decent amount of guitar, but I just sang in a band. I think I got lazy in that aspect. So I only took gigs that worked out for my guitar player and my drummer. And if they were busy, I just said, sorry, we can't do it. I never thought to be a solo musician. And then pandemic, I kind of just sat down for 2 months and learned every song from the band repertoire. And maybe even less. I realized it wasn't that hard. Guitar players, everybody get a test. Once you know, the 8 chords or whatever it is, everything is basically that,
Yeah.
Every song is a version of that, bar chords, whatever. So you can eke. I feel like I get by being a better singer than I am a guitar player. But yeah, I think
supplements when you play.
Yeah, it backs me up. But I know guys who shred on the guitar and have decent voices. And I think I shred on the voice and have decent guitar.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, so I think about it, I'm like, shit, what if I had done this sooner? But I also think it was all timing. 5-6 years ago, it was all about certain bars.
Right.
And now there's a lot more, restaurants doing music. There's a lot more breweries, wineries, patios. Yeah. It's different. There's a lot more for the solo musician now. It used to be if you're solo, they'd be like, do you have a band? And if you didn't, they're like, sorry, we want a band to come play this venue. Now it's the opposite. They're like, we don't want drums. We just want a guy playing for our restaurant guests or at a winery. They don't want people coming there to play.
You really don't want to hear a kick drum at a Kelsey's.
It's funny what you were saying earlier with the open mic being a labor of love. Because I very much think that London, I think especially lacks, it's been a staple in London as long as you ever did Poachers open mic, that if you were a musician and you wanted a chance to go and get feedback on how your music is going, well, you can go see J-Me. Anyone who has ever played an open mic in the city knows you. And you go see J-Me on Wednesday and you can get an open mic.
Yeah, I think it started because I think I got my start at open mic. Because there was a time for every musician where you only knew 4 or 5 songs. And I think it also takes, a little bit of shamelessness or you need a little bit to get up there. But, I had older brothers who were musicians and I got up at an open mic and I got those 2 songs I played really well, got great response. And then that's addictive. You're so bad. You're 10 minutes of fame, like, when you go to these open mics and people applaud for you. And again, I just remember it over the years, and I say even more labor of love, because I would work all day at the restaurant, Wednesday, go home, shower, change, and then go to Poachers and run this open mic, and then get home at like 2:33, eat, 4 o'clock, go to bed, and then open the restaurant the next day. Oof. So like it definitely wasn't like, oh, I'm playing on a Friday night and I get to sleep in all Saturday. There was times where I'm like, this is rough. Every week this is rough, but I got to keep doing this because there's so many people who I just know, like, they come every week and it's such a, like a, like I said, it's that outlet, It's that outlet. It's so addictive to be able to get up. And now there are a few open mics, and there's even more that have come and gone. But yeah, that one at Poachers, and before that, Rockwater, those ones are just, they were known, and they were busy every week. And
Poachers? And I remember nights going into Poachers, and if you weren't there early enough, you couldn't get a spot. There'd be like 25 spots or whatever for the night.
Oh, and not even like 13.
Yeah, and it would be solid in an hour.
I remember that near the end, I would show up at 9:30, and it was a chalkboard. They would make the list of chalkboard, and they'd do it before I got there. I'd show up at 9:30, and it was full.
Yeah, you'd have 13
I'm like,
people
I don't know what to tell people. I'm like, people are walking in, I'm like, sorry. I tried my best to like shorten sets or whatever, but it was always busy. And I got lucky. I have run open mics there where there was like, it was tough. Like, you get somebody up there, and hey, like, God bless them for even getting up. But that, like, yeah. I mean, you gotta suck shit at some time, but I feel like even when I wasn't great, I didn't suck shit. Like, some people, and as a host,
there's like, bad, and then there's fucking,
and then there's then there's like, you should not play music. This is not for you.
Maybe, when you're like, maybe drums are your thing.
That's so funny. Maybe. You rarely hear people, like, it's always like, if you keep plugging away, you'll get there.
Oh my God,
it's like,
for sure.
Man, you just don't.
I'm not saying most people, but there's like 5% of you guys out there that just shouldn't do it. I mean, like, go in production. Go do the backside of things. You love music. You don't have to. Or do the
ultimate hack move. Have a podcast.
Yeah, you want to be a comedian? Just start a podcast.
There you go, man, of course. Yeah. Hey, again, I mean, it's tough to say because, again, I think everybody is good, and I've been really lucky. 10 years of Poachers and where I am now, everybody comes out great. Like, honestly, I feel like almost everybody who comes out to the open mic, I would, if they got a gig for 3 hours, I would go listen to them. There's very few people, but there's, in my time, you can't avoid you just inadvertently are going to have some people who just suck. But again, it's like, good for them. They're also the people who probably have the best time.
Well, and that's the thing. It is a huge moment of enjoyment for people and a big accomplishment for a lot of people.
Yeah, stage fright. Like, it's oh my God, I think it's terrifying to get up, maybe to get up and play guitar, but to get up and sing. And anyway, like, talk about public speaking, people have fears. Getting up and singing in front of strangers when you haven't done it. I've probably sang, 5,000 times in front of, crowds, and still, still there's nerves. Like, I went and played a gig at a small, cafe, 15 people in there. I was shitting my pants. And I've done this a million times. I played in front of 1,000 people. And I don't think that leaves you. So I can only imagine when you're first starting, which it's hard for me to go back on because I was a kid. But I was like, I give anybody the biggest credit to get up and sing and play an instrument that they're still new at in front of strangers in a bar. It's also not like you're playing in front of your friends at a campfire, which is the easiest way to get a start, but you're playing in a bar. Like, people can beat you up.
Yeah. For some reason, the singing
people will throw things.
It seems so much more personal. Like, it's a skill, like learning an instrument, right, that you develop. But, like, if someone doesn't like your singing, it's like almost like they say they don't like you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'd rather somebody say you're ugly than
you
singing.
Sing.
Yeah, your singing sucks.
Yeah. It's very intimate. It's very intimate. Yeah. You're exposing yourself.
I've said it a million times, exactly on that note, a million times that, like, when I used to play at Jack's, it was a weird thing because it would be packed and you get off and people want to talk to you. And I'd always beeline. They had a fire exit door. And I'd always beeline and go out that far exit door and just, like, sit out there and have a smoke. I smoked at the time. Until my break was over and get back on. And then jump up on a speaker and, like, jump kicks, act like, like I'm some rock star. But on the inside, like, the moment I get off, when people start approaching me like, hey, you're, whatever kind of compliment thing, or like, do you know a song? I felt like you just saw me naked And I don't like, I just exposed myself to you, and I don't really feel, I feel so super awkward talking to you. So it's like this, dual identity thing that everybody I've played with knows this about me, that I'm like super outgoing on the stage, but the moment I get off, I'm like so introverted, and I just want to duck out the side door. If I was just with my friends at Poachers, it's different. But like I'm talking about these scenarios, I'm like, I feel like I just exposed myself. It's very personal. It's very weird. I'm not expecting negative. I'm not hiding from the negative. It's just, it's weird. It's weird to do that, to show that side of yourself and really give it, and sing and perform for somebody, and then have people come up to you. And then meanwhile, my partner at the time would be like, right into the fire, and like making out with every girl they go.
Really just loves the crowd.
Well, he did. I mean, this is a long time ago. He's married. He's awesome.
This is if he's listening.
Not gonna name
that time last week he made out with like 3 chicks.
I'm being tame, but like, but this guy, he loved it. He like ate that attention, and he was great for it. He was like, I mean, a part of me was always jealous of that he had that rock star kind of persona, like ready, stepped off the stage, and mine stayed on the stage. The moment I got off, I was like, hey, I was like,
I want to go outside and decompress.
Like Garth in that scene in Wayne's World, which is super old, but like he plays drums in the music store, and he just like shreds, and then like an amazing shred, and then somebody comes up to me, he says you're amazing, and he's just like, yeah, I like to play. And like really, really kind of bashful. Like that's, So, I mean, I've obviously been able to fake it over the years and like try to act the part. But for the most part, I think I'm like a super kind of, weird about that kind of performance. Not so much elsewhere, but that kind of performance. It is weird to get off a stage.
Yeah. I think that's like the artistic type as well, right? Like it kind of stereotypically like bashful and not wanting to be the center of attention and stuff.
You're right. I mean, yeah.
Do you guys ever do anything anymore?
No, he officially retired from music a few months ago. But yeah, I know he's like married. Again, I've played with different guys, but my main guy, who was like, by far the best musician I've played with, he's married. He's got a couple of kids. He's got a crazy full-time job. He's a super busy guy. So even the last few years, when he'd come and play with me, it was never, as a job for the money, or it was like literally just, to get out and hang out with me or something, and have a bit of fun. But like he was always like leaving something, to do at home or something. So I understood completely. I knew it was coming years ago, and I've had other guys I play with, and I have a new guy that's actually, our old friend, Mr. Braden is.
Oh yeah.
We're talking. I'm talking with him these days. I mean, imagine it doesn't work out here and I'm throwing his name on a podcast. But he's our friend. He's a great guy and a really solid musician. So, he is
a really solid musician.
Yeah. So, I mean, right now I'm really 90% solo.
Yeah.
But I still get offered these, duo and band things. So, I have to have, at least a couple of guys.
What do you think the biggest show is you've done?
I don't know. Off the top of my head, I can't even really... think, what have I done? I've played like stuff like Ribfest and
that's pretty big,
like that.
Yeah.
But you know what? Actually, I was asked to host their open stage. Funny enough, I mean, I performed at it twice, so still performing at that, the main stage there. I'm not gonna lie and say that it was like me or my band, but stuff like that. I've played a couple, bigger things like that, kind of like in the park, big things in like Montreal But I mean, I think that sadly, it's so sad to say this, but the thing that was probably like a marquee was that we were the Friday night band at Jack's for 4 years. I don't get me wrong, I don't step foot in the place, and even when I was playing there, like very seldomly, but it was a cool gig to have. Everybody went there. It was the biggest venue. It had a few thousand people in there at night.
Yeah,
and we were always jam packed on the top floor, and people were like losing their minds. Cheering at the end of every song. So that was probably, and also I think to me, it was impressive for me, or I, found it, great that we had something like that every week. Like there aren't many of those anymore. Now all the big, like normal big venues, there's a different person every week, a different band, different this. The fact that we were chosen, we went from every like random, like one Thursday a month to every Thursday, and then they bumped us to every Friday. in a very short time. So that was.
I remember at the time. I think it's important to note that at the time it was literally the bar.
Ah, yeah.
It was packed.
Yeah, it's not anymore. I haven't been there, but it's not the same.
It's not the same.
And they don't do live music. They haven't in quite a while.
No, and it used to be that it was like lined up. If you're not from London or whatever, literally lined up like an entire city block.
Oh, yeah.
And the bar would be shoulder to shoulder inside, and you'd go upstairs, and there was a fucking concert going on on the top floor every Friday.
Yeah, and 2 floors. Where else would you have like a DJ in the basement with a packed house, DJ in the main floor of the packed house, and a rock band on the top floor of the packed house?
Taboo in the basement.
Yeah, and I think they still do those two things. They just I don't know. I haven't been there in a while. They just don't do any live music on the top floor.
Yeah, I think, and the top floor, the last time I went, is kind of dead.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing up there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like an easier bar to get drinks at.
Yeah.
Because there's less people up there.
Yeah.
Like sometimes the back bar at Cool's or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I got sick of Jack's when I turned like 21, so.
I stopped like 23, 24.
Yeah. I started
last year.
I started at 30. That's when I started Jack's.
Yeah, when did you start doing music? Like, when did you start playing?
Tough. I mean, tough to break down. I mean, as far as I had a guitar. I was playing it like summer camp or like at in like high school battle of bands, stuff like that. And then it was strange because I had a brother 2 years older than me who's just a phenomenal musician or like a great singer, and so it was always like I'm in that shadow. Like I can't do it. He's great. Like what am I gonna? So in Montreal, I got it up a couple of mics. I never really did anything, and then I came to Western, and then I'm like I remember I had friends like first, second year at university, and then because of the dynamic of I was already older and people my age, they graduated, and the third year I was there. Because again, I'm not from London. I was like, shit, like I don't have my core group of like student friends. Where do I go and meet people? And I just opened up Scene Magazine and found an open mic, and it was at Scott's Corner at the time. And
what's that guy's name?
Vinny.
Yeah,
Vinny at Scott's Corner, and then I found one at Poachers. There was 2 guys running one at Poachers at the time. Very short lived. I took over from them. But and that's like I'm like okay, so I started playing open mics. That's how it got started. And then if you want to fast forward, 2004. I remember I thought I was just an open mic guy. I would go to open mics and like do well, and I'd enter like little things where you only have to sing 4 or 5 songs and do well. And then this guy Marty ended up being a really close friend of mine. Also was like the GM of Rockwater, which doesn't exist anymore, but it was in the Galleria. Kind of like the opposite side of Fox and Fiddle.
Oh, okay.
Big, amazing bar. Like, amazing, huge stage.
Like where the bank is now?
It's where a Fairweather is now, but like it's.
I know what you're talking about.
It was a massive space, and it kind of felt like a Montana's.
Yeah.
But it had a big stage with like a permanent piano, and they'd have all kinds of music stuff there all the time. It was honestly one of like, the coolest places. So like I went in there for something, like played 4 songs, and then. I don't know why he saw something in me that I didn't really think at the time, but he asked for my information, and then somebody did to give to him. He said the GM wants your info, and then like the next day I got a voicemail from this guy saying, "Hi, like this is Marty from Rockwater. I want to book you in to play." It was like very soon. It was like next Friday or the Friday after that. So I give him a call back, and I start to be like, I'm not really. I don't really do that. And then I think he offered me. He said it pays $150 or $200, and like a pitcher of beer or something like that. And at the time,
I take that deal.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'll figure it out.
It's like to me, it's like $1 million at the time. I just graduated university. I couldn't have been more poor. I was working like a really shitty job, and so as I started to fumble around to try and figure out a way to say no, he said $150 and like 3 beers, and I was like. I can do this. And I was accepted, and I think I always jokingly say the same thing. I went and I played, and I swear I played Wheat Kings like 3 times that night. It was like my go-to, like I think I'm like this is my go-to song, and I barely had enough material to squeak by. And then I think that was probably my first moment of like performing, like being like, okay, I can
Have you ever bombed?
I'm sure. I don't know.
I've never seen you bomb. No, and I've seen you play for years.
I'm just trying not to sound heroic. Of course, I've never bombed. Like that's. But, no,
he's fucking good.
But the version of that is I have, and somehow like a recording at the time I had played when I was too drunk to play.
And then, like I did last night.
I think only you know when that, like, you notice it.
Yeah, because you know.
I don't think anybody would be like, oh, did you hear Jane played? He's fucking hammered. But I heard myself, and I could hear little slurs in my speech.
Oh, yeah.
And I could hear
Would you normally be
slurring.
tighter? And...
Yeah, and normally like just crisper, and I was like, slurring through. Or... sang the same verse twice, something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm never ever getting drunk again at a gig.
Yeah.
It lasts 2 weeks, and then you get back to it. But now I just learn to control it. I'm like, okay, only get drunk for the last half hour. Like go hard. Like in between second and third set, that's when shots. Okay, you all take that shot you offer me. Okay, line them up.
Well, because everyone else is drunk, right? And if everyone who's watching is drunk,
it's the end of the night, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And I don't say I suck when that happens. Usually that's when I'll lose all inhibitions and go after songs that I'm been holding back, like The Darkness or or Journey, something like that. That's when I'll be like, fuck it. I don't have to worry about conserving my voice for the rest of the night.
True.
Which is always, was happening to me at the time when I was playing Poachers and then Jackson Fridays and McCabe's on Saturdays and then sometimes Sundays. I was at the time, I was I was blowing out my voice a lot.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What happens with that? When you're playing all the time, what are you doing to... how much can you take?
It's a steady routine. Literally, you panic. First of all, you shit your pants all day because it's one of those jobs. We talk about you can't call in sick in the industry, but it's one of those jobs you really can't call in sick for, because if you call in sick, number one, there isn't a coworker that can pick up your slack. But also... I always feel like if you call in sick and screw over that bar, they're never booking you again.
They'll never.
So I can't tell you how many times I've sung with tonsillitis, strep throat, something like that, where I'm in physical pain. That's where whiskey really helps. And all jokes aside, that's why the hot toddy is a thing. Like whiskey and hot water or whatever and lemon. But to get back to it, not to get off track, I would literally live on a diet from Wednesday to Saturday. Those weekends. I would live on a diet of all day, nothing but hot water and rotate hot water lemons and hot water honey. And it would just be, and there's this miracle tea called throat coat tea. It's some organic tea. A lot of singers I know use it. And it would just be that all day. And I'd be every Saturday at the end of my last gig, I would just be oh, thank God I got through this. And then I'm not going to talk for 4 days, which again never happens because I'm in the industry, I'm serving. And then it would come back Wednesday and I'd be like, okay, I think I'm okay. And then after Thursday or Friday, I'm like, okay, I feel a tingle, it's starting to hurt a little bit. And then Saturday I wake up, it's hurting. And I got to sing Saturday night. It was this evil routine back and back and back. And I think what's changed, because I was always nervous when I got back into this full time, that would happen again. I'm like, what am I going to do? My first couple of months, I was purposely booking, if I played a Friday, I wouldn't book a Saturday. Or maybe the first month. Yeah. And then I couldn't avoid it. And then, like I said, it got to the point where I'm playing twice in one day. But I realized that once I got out of the industry, once I stopped talking all day, especially talking all day before a gig, that made a huge difference. I also, not for this purpose, but I also quit smoking, just inadvertently, which thank God actually works out because I've been talking about it forever. But that makes a big difference. I always heard, I think I was watching some documentary and they were telling the singer, no talking all day. When you're on tour, you're mute all day until you sing at night. And here I was working at a restaurant. My job is to talk, and I already talk a lot. I talk all day, and then go home and go right to a gig and yell, scream into a microphone all night. So
and then hack darts in between sets.
Oh my God, 2 at a time.
Have you ever double barrels?
Have you ever? No, and I thought I did. And luckily, I had a friend at the time who got me into a ear, nose, and throat doctor really fast. And I remember betting my guitar player. He's like, I will bet you money that I have nodes because it just hurt all the time. And
for anyone who doesn't know, to clarify, vocal nodes are it's like a cystic buildup.
Almost like a polyp, or like a
polyp on the vocal cords,
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they could be the end of your vocal or your singing career.
You have to.
You can get them off, but they can also. I think maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, I know that they could leave even if you get it sorted. You could end up with not the same voice, Yeah. So I was worried, and then sure enough, the guy went down and he came in. He's like, "No, you're fine." I'm like, "What do you mean I'm fine? My throat kills all the time." And he said, you know, I'm like, you should maybe not sing for a week or two. And I'm like, that's not an option. Like, I play every Friday and Saturday night. And then I think one of the first times I quit everything because Jax and McCabe's all stopped at the same time.
Yeah.
It was a whole like management thing. And then the day that we found out, I won't get into it, but everything changed. And like most of us musicians were like, fuck it, I'm out. Like, I'm not playing in here anymore. And at the time, it was like Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays. That was a thing. And the moment that happened, I knew that those were up. I quit the job I had at the time, and I went to Thailand. I was like, okay, like everything else, I'm like, quit a job, I know I can get another job when I come back. Yeah. But I always knew that if I give up Jax and McCabe's, somebody's sliding in there, and I'm not getting it back when I come back. So it like kept me here.
Is that when Alan took over McCabe's?
No. I mean, Alan...
Charlotte Bar.
Yeah, he was playing there at the same time as me.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was doing Sundays or Mondays when I was doing Fridays.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was... Yeah, there was a period where I was Thursdays there, Fridays Jax, and then it was like Thursdays Jax, Fridays there, and then, and he was there on Sundays, from what I remember. I can't remember which days it was, but we were playing there at the same time, and I think... I could be wrong, but I think he stopped also at the same time.
Yeah, I don't think...
Everybody I know, they basically came, I mean, without talking numbers, they basically came after 4 or 5 years of playing there. They came to every musician who's been playing there. Like, we're all... It wasn't a rotation. It was like, I played Fridays, this person played Saturdays, this person played Sundays for years. And they basically just came one day and they're like, yeah, so it's a company that owns all these bars, not like a person. And they just told all the bar GMs, like, we're cutting the music budget in half.
Oof.
So all of a sudden, they show up after like 5 or 6 years playing the company, 7, and they're like, yeah, okay, so we're just going to pay you half from now on. Like, expecting people just to be like, okay.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, that's literally what it was. Like, no talk about anything else. No, like, we'll make it up in this way, or like, come, eat for free during the week. I don't know.
So Jax and McCabe's are owned by the same company?
Jax, McCabe's, Cowboys, and like 100 other bars. In like Kitchener, Guelph.
Phil's in Kitchener.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's McCabe's in Kitchener. Well, it's a company. It's like, I think it's 4, big guys. Again, I don't want to misspeak. I know some construction companies, somebody else, and like there are people. Don't get me wrong, who also like own the bars. Like there's somebody in charge.
Yeah,
of
like a franchise owner. Yeah.
Or no, I think it's all related to the owners. Okay. But I just mean there are they're like, okay, you take care of this one, and you take care like this person's son or whatever it is.
Yeah.
There are people who are like, okay, you oversee this one. But at the end of the day, there was a boardroom somewhere where just some decisions were made, where they're not there in the bar to see that like, it's packed or something or how well they're.
Oh, and McCabe's was awesome for live music. Still is.
It was better.
It's dead.
It's getting there.
Dead
it's getting. Yeah, it's not. Those first 2 years. I feel bad saying ain't disparaging anything. I mean, because I might play there, but it's just different. Those first 2 years, like any place that opens, like you really get hyped up and people are like, here's the new bar. But there was a down period and then COVID and all that stuff, of course. But they've got some good guys playing there. Like I see the roster, they've got some good guys playing there now. And I haven't been in a while, so I don't know. I don't know what their numbers are like inside. Yeah. But I do see some some talented guys playing there. Some guys that I rotate with. And
so you mentioned it earlier. What's the draw with Thailand? Because you've gone a few times, right?
Yes, it's not what everybody thinks.
No, we don't have to go with the cheap joke.
So ladyboys,
which I take. Which
Bonertime. I'm a hack. I'm a hack. I'll take the ladyboy joke.
Yeah. It was always As I used to get so defensive about that too. I'd be like, ladyboys or happy endings. People were like, what are you going? I'm like, man, you gotta go there. Like the nicest people in the world.
But that's what my aunt and uncle. They live in England, but they spend like months of year.
A lot of Europeans, Europeans go there. It's easier. I mean, not all of Europe, but I'm saying a lot of people from Europe and Asia and stuff like that go there. To answer your question, the short, quality of life for cheap. I mean, like I've never lived so well with zero stress and like eat the best food, do whatever you want. I mean, obviously when you're on vacation, the feeling of vacation, not having to do anything is that. So I always say what I've heard some people spending on an all-inclusive for 2 weeks or 10 days, I've spent being there for 2-3 months.
Right.
Like I rented an apartment for $100 Canadian a month. my first year.
Shit.
And so I went there, rented out I sublet. I was renting at the time. I subletted my place here for like, $200 or $300 more because I had cheap rent. Went there with my savings and an extra $200-$300 a month, and I just like had the easiest time, just not working, having zero stress, recovering my voice, stuff like that. And I'd go for proper massages, like every second
proper
day.
massage.
Yeah.
No, it's true though.
Not
It's
a hand
true.
job massage, but yeah, every other day. Like imagine getting like therapeutic massage every other day. Like I felt like a king. Like I felt literally. I'd go there. I had a motorbike. I had friends friends that like in my same position, or people who were digital nomads. Can make money on the internet and whatnot, and they would. And yeah, just wake up in the day, like, what do I want to do today? I'm going to go meet my friends for lunch, go for massage, go do yoga, or read a book, go for a motorbike ride, rinse, repeat. And like, it was just the most relaxed.
You live in Vietnam too, right?
No, I've been to Vietnam. I spent a bunch of time in Vietnam and Laos. Those are my two like second favorites. Highly recommend. Once you go to that part of the world, you'd be foolish not to check out those other places, because a plane ticket to Vietnam is like, $75 or $80, and Laos the same thing, and they're equally as cheap. So it's the long plane ride from here, like the 23 hours to get there. Yeah. And the price tag on that anywhere from like 12 to, 14, or anywhere from $1,000 to $1,400.
What how much did it cost you for like 3 months to be in
At the time, it's like the first time we went was 10, 11 years ago. And I was there for 4 months. You know what? I never put a number on it. It's also hard to gauge what I could put somebody there for to spend a month versus like I was there. I rented an apartment. I rented a little bit nicer one my first time for like $300 a month, just because I didn't know any better. Yeah. Now I could find an apartment for $150 a month. But also I rented that. And rented a motorbike where you can buy one for the same price as renting it for a month. Yeah. And also I went to like 4 other countries while I was there. I like went whitewater rafting. I went, to elephant sanctuaries. It's like you don't do those things if you live there full time, right?
Right.
So it's tough to like, what did I spend? I could break down roughly, like, so I think that because I've talked about like, okay, I was going to go there for a year when pandemic happened. So I've already done all the stuff. I've already done all the excursions. I've already done all the touristy stuff. I'm going to go there and just rent out my house, make money off of it, make $500-$600, and go there for
rent plus some.
Oh yeah, and be fair, now I could make more than that. But at the time, I'm like, okay, I'll have an extra $500 coming in plus my savings, and I figured in my head that I could have lived there for, I don't know. I think I was giving myself a rough figure of like $700 to $800 a month, $600 to $800 a month. Wow. I don't know. I'm not thinking about that, but
that's quite good.
Yeah, but I mean I'm sure if I had to, like on a dare, if it was like to win something, I could live there on $500 a month. I'm sure. Yeah. But like, I also do like going.
You like doing shit.
Yeah, I like doing shit. Well, I like going for meals. Like you can eat street food for $1 a meal, and it's great food. But I don't feel like people should stop themselves. I did like some. Americana every once in a while. I would go and have a burger and get a pizza or something like that. I think it's harder to sustain there for such a long period of time if you don't allow yourself. And I went to the movies there all the time. And their movie theaters are like ours, actually nicer than ours. So like you do spend, but I knew a guy that had paid $50 a month rent for like a pure Thai style apartment, and just bed on the ground and like a squat toilet and a cold shower, and he paid $50 a month, and he was there for a long time, and he lived on like the tightest budget. He didn't drink. He trained, like he'd do like Muay Thai stuff, but he was there from the UK, and he lived an awesome life for very inexpensive.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's ways to do it. It all depends on what you want, but you could set yourself any budget, and it'd be easy to stick to it as long as you just set yourself a budget. You can definitely flourish there for like, you can live like a king for $1,000.
Did you ever come across the guys that were there for the stereotypical creepy shit?
Oh my god, all the time.
Yeah.
Like
for sure.
Well, you just pick out?
Come across, meaning like you see. I mean, I hate even pointing out the negative, but the first building I was in a part of town more touristy, and
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was. And it was a great building, and I have new friends who stayed there. But there were no shortage of like 70-year-old, expats, which are like people who.
Yeah, expatriates.
Who, like, Americans mostly who. Oh no, not mostly. I shouldn't say that, but white guys mostly, and they would have somebody who lived with them, a Thai person. I'm not talking about 18, but like 30, 35.
Yeah.
But it's weird. I hate to say it, desensitized, because there's also the other side where people just go there for looking for prostitutes, and most of the time these are companions. I mean, in Thai culture and maybe in a lot of Asian cultures, they really respect elders, and like to take care of your grandparents, it's just something you do. Like they live with you, you take care of them until, so it's not so.
It's not so strange to
it's
them.
not. Yeah, it's not so strange to them.
Because to them, it's like, well, they're here for, like, say, a prostitute, but a prostitute who's basically with them full time as a companion.
But not even a prostitute. It's like a trade-off. It's like a nurse. Let's say, like, I'm not saying that there's not any sex or something like that involved, but for the most part, these old guys want a companion. They need somebody also to go and, like, order for them. You can speak English everywhere, but it does come in handy if you have a Thai friend. I had quite a few Thai friends, and they go and bargain this or get that, or and most of them are fantastic cooks and stuff like that. But yeah, it's also have that, and then in turn, he gives her $200 or $300 a month, but not to her. It goes to her family.
Yeah,
which is like, $5,000 a month.
Yeah,
like it's and again, excuse the ignorance, my numbers, I'm way off, but I just mean like I have seen that where it is like it is totally like a marriage of convenience. Yeah, where this person, it's changing the life of her family. Yeah, and she spends all the time with them. And maybe in the beginning there was, a few extra HJs or like whatever like that. But I think after a couple of years, I don't think the guy's being like, okay, you need to fuck me every day and do this.
Yeah, I think like once there's
it's companionship at that
point. Once
the
time's in, like you don't spend 3 years if you're just there to.
No, and they treat them with respect. They're not being like, get me this, do this. Yeah. Like, they walk around and they're holding hands and they look like couples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you do, so and they look in the act, and I'd see them dining out all the time, and they're joking around, and there's like 2 or 3 couples, and with Thai women and the white guys, and
it's not just boner time all the time.
No, no. Sometimes
it's boner time.
It has to be a boner time sometimes.
Every time Jamie walks in the room, it's boner time.
I mean,
but he's not everywhere all at once.
That's true. It's true. I mean, there's always time for boner time.
Always time, buddy.
Hey, I also assume these guys probably maybe can't even get boners, and I think that's probably like, that's like winning the lottery for these, some of these Thai women. They're like, oh my God,
I don't even have to fuck
it doesn't even work anymore. Thank God.
Would you ever go back?
I just got back. I was just there.
He just went.
Yeah, but like go live there again?
Well, I got a dog now, so it's tough.
True.
My plan was, like I said, like May or June 2020, I was going there for a year. That was always my plan. And then pandemic hit. Then I got a dog. I mean, I also have, a girlfriend I love. But we talked about, like, would we go there together? No, I'm not leaving that part out.
It's funny how the dog got like 30
I have a dog.
seconds.
Well, she can come with me. My dog can't.
Yeah, your dog can't.
And, like, there is ways to get a dog there, but I think it would just be so traumatic. I looked into it. Like, there's no way around my dog being in a crate under a plane for 18 hours or something.
Yeah, you're not getting over that, right?
No, but yeah, reason I didn't say, jokingly aside, I didn't say girlfriend because I took her. She'd never been. And before I went, I'm like, I'm going to ask you periodically on this trip, like, would you move here? And by the end, we were talking like legit logistics, like how she was saying like, I could do 6 months. And like, I was trying to stay for the year. And, like, this is when, jokingly, like, we'd get the dog there, or I'd let my parents watch the dog. But we were, like, talking about plans. I'm like, okay, so, like, we can go in this time. Like, when you're done this or this in between, we'll rent out both our houses. And we both own houses. If we rent out both our houses, we could live there like royalty and never work again, ever again.
Yeah, you could literally retire.
Yeah, literally just on the extra income, and because we're be splitting rent. Like, if 2 people have, like, $1,000 a month,
Yeah, you can have
and your rent is $350. Like, you couldn't spend that if you wanted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you could eat out every single night, which you do anyway. It's just cheaper too. But yeah,
is it cheaper to just eat out all the time there?
Yeah, most people don't. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I only know how my friends and I live. Most places don't have kitchens, and then you can get apartments with kitchenettes and small kitchens. But it would cost you more to buy all the ingredients to make a pad thai than it would to go get $1 pad thai.
Yeah. Right.
because I go to the grocery store there when I lived there, and I bought like a panini press. I found that was like the most versatile, but it's one of those ones where like you got two shapes, like it kind of makes it into a pocket into like four triangles type thing.
Oh yeah.
Kind of so I would like heat it up and crack eggs into it, and then take out the eggs and put toast in it, and I even put like bacon in it. I've used it for everything as like a pan and as a toaster.
Yeah.
So that
it works.
Yeah, like every place you rent has like a big mini fridge. So I always had drinks and some food and stuff like that. But that's just because I don't want to wake up. I eat breakfast every morning. I don't want to wake up at 8 a.m., 9 a.m. and have to get dressed just to go get a piece of toast.
Right.
Because I eat as soon as I wake up. So, but otherwise, yeah, lunch. Like my favorite lunches were at like a really nice place, like $1.50 for like this massive soup with like all kinds of like chicken and noodles and all kinds of stuff.
I'm gonna move to Thailand.
I think everybody needs to go once.
Yeah.
I think it'd be crazy not to. I still
What's
think
the flight over there right now? $2,000?
No. I just like I said, they've always been about 1,000 to 15. You could find flights for $5,000, I'm sure. But I mean, if you're smart and you're not like I only have 1 week vacation, this is the only time I can go. If you can just look for the year, you can always find flights. So I think my flight was 12, but that was out of Toronto, or it was going to be 12 to Toronto, that's where I always fly out of. I paid an extra $230 and flew out of London.
Yeah.
So that was, I've gone 6 times. I always flew out of Toronto and got somebody to drive me there and whatever. But this time it was just, I'm like, fuck. Like I take a 10-minute Uber right there and start my trip there from London. And also coming back, landing in London.
Coming back, landing in London.
So I think I paid $1,450. There's a difference between like some people are like, oh, I got a flight for $1,000, but their travel time is 41 hours. Yeah. Because you take a 12-hour flight, then you're laid over for 12 hours.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and then laid over somewhere else for 5 hours. So I always say, any day of the week, I'd rather pay an extra like $150, $200 to get there in.
Yeah, for sure.
The shortest is 20 hours.
That's the shortest time to get there.
Yeah.
That's not too bad.
And that's from Toronto.
And how is that with layovers?
So it's always about. This is I think 80% of the time. It's always Toronto to Narita Airport, Tokyo, and then you're laid over there anywhere from like 2 to 5 hours. It could be forever, but I've always been laid over for like 2 to 5 hours, and then it's a 6-hour flight. So
6-hour flight from Tokyo
to Bangkok, yeah.
But that seems so close to me.
Yeah, it just is.
That's crazy.
It just is.
Totally different country. It's not. Again, Florida is like 5 hours flight. That's.
Is that? I thought Florida was like a 2-hour flight.
No.
Jeez.
No, man.
Planes are slow.
4.5, 5. But I always say, like, I'm assuming you've been on planes before.
Yeah.
That the planes that you've been on are completely different than the planes you're on when you're on a plane for 12 hours.
Yeah.
Like there's more room. The seats are a little more comfortable. The food is good. It's not.
You're meant to sit there for 12 hours.
They know that your average person couldn't survive those flights if not. So it's a little more comfortable.
I want to start taking those flights that are like standing room only.
Jeez.
You seen those like Ryanair ones?
No.
It's like this budget airline out of the UK called Ryanair.
I know Ryanair. I've flown Ryanair, but
they're proposing a cabin where it's standing room with like a hook,
like a subway. That's
like
funny,
a subway or a
because
bus.
You know how many times on a plane you hear where they say like everybody take your seats and buckle up. So that's just not going to be a thing for them.
That's just not going to be a thing.
So
for
like
those
we have
guys.
some turbulence and people are just going to be falling.
Well, it's for flights. They're advertising it like
London, like puddle hoppers.
Yeah, like London to Paris for a pound.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, they already have that though. They have Penn's flights over there where you
like
only
London,
play
like
the
London
flyers
Toronto.
fee.
London Toronto is not bad. It's only and you don't have to go as high.
Yeah,
That's right.
and the turboprop, like it's sketchy going London to Toronto because you jump on and then they go out with these ropes and they. Have you never seen them start them? It's a turboprop.
No.
The Air Canada one.
Yeah, when they turn the propeller.
They start the propeller with rope. And I'm always like,
I've seen it.
Does no one think this is archaic?
I saw people do it with a hand. Like I've seen that. With
Yeah. They'll have a belt or like you'll have a guy who comes and like shoves it and gets it spinning.
Yeah. I've seen that. Yeah, I forgot about that. That's good. It is so archaic. Like, can we not? Because somebody not invent something to turn.
We don't have a fucking starter for this thing.
Yeah, they do have a starter. The guy with the rope. Invented
this thing can fly in the air, but it can't turn itself.
It can't turn on by itself.
That is kind of weird.
Yeah, that's what they used to go
like
China, London. Puddle hoppers, right? That's like the term.
Yeah, little tiny planes.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, you need to go 100%. I've made this comparison. I feel like only 5% of people will take that crazy adventure. I mean, it takes knowing somebody who's done it to kind of like maybe make it a little easier on your brain. But I didn't know anybody who had been. The first time I went, I literally quit a job I'd been in for like 4 years, and late at night was like researching and literally booked my flight at like 3 a.m. and then immediately afterwards like, holy shit, what did I do? Never been there, didn't know anything about it. And
can you rent an apartment for just like a month?
Yeah. I mean, now in the days of Airbnb, there's so many more options.
Yeah.
Because you can Airbnb for a month. But yeah, and it depends when. It's like there's high season, low season. So the first few times I went in low season when it's rainy season, which means it rains for an hour a day. And then I was able to get, like, you can get anything for a month. But if you want to go in like anywhere from November to April, then they won't. They'll be like, no, we're going to, like, we need
6 months.
Yeah, because there's a waiting list saying, there's lots of stuff like that. And prices are higher. So if you rent in the summer for a year, you're going to get a cheap price for like the whole year, or kind of. But if you go there and try to rent November for a year, you're going to be paying a lot more.
Yeah.
A lot more. Say a lot more is like, okay, you'll be paying like, $350 instead of like $275.
Did you stay in Bangkok?
No, I don't like Bangkok.
You don't like it?
No, and a lot of my friends don't either. It's like, it's like dropping yourself off in the middle of the New York City in Thailand, which some people like New York City. I'm not knocking it.
Yeah, but it's insane.
It's busy. It's really, really smoggy. Like, it's hotter there because of the smog. The air quality is really, really low a few times a year, which like you're like coughing just being there. And it's really, really fucking busy. When I think Thailand, I think like temples and monks walking around and Buddhism and waterfalls and elephants, and all that stuff is in the north, and in Chiang Mai, which is where I would always be. Bangkok is like you have different people, but you're in downtown Toronto. You might be in a different culture. You might see Thai people instead of Canadian people, but it's like being. And, everybody's trying to scam you or this and that.
Oh,
not to say there isn't a good side at Bangkok. I know people, I actually changed my opinion. I had a friend who lived there, and I stayed with her, and she worked there for like a few years, and we went, she knew places to go to and malls to go to and places to eat, and it was, I saw a cooler side of Bangkok, don't get me wrong, but if you're going there as a tourist, I haven't met one single tourist who's like, man, I fucking love Bangkok.
It's just those big tourism cities,
hub,
right? Like Paris and Rome, and like you're constantly trying to get.
But not even, because I think that's true.
There.
In Paris and Rome, you still have those sites you need to see that have been forever. Bangkok, there are a few. There's like the Emerald Buddha, and there's a couple of things, and like the palace. But really, you could still see stuff like that in other cities, and all the bigger sites are in other cities. Like all the cooler stuff are in other cities, and a lot of it's in the north, in that city, in Chiang Mai. But yeah, Bangkok, there really isn't those important things. I think you have to go to London if you're going to England. I think you have to go to Paris if you're going to France to see those things, at least for a day or two. I don't feel like you get anything out of Bangkok other to say, I was in Bangkok and I saw the Royal Palace, and it's crazy, and couldn't wait to get out. And most people, 90% of people go there are in a short time. So yeah, if you have 6 months to go spend 2-3 days in Bangkok just so that you can say you did it and see a couple of things. But most people are going there, have a short period of time. And even I say don't ever go for less than 2 weeks. I recommend longer, but 2 weeks is like, to me, is like the what you need.
Well, because you have a lot of travel time and shit.
You lose 3 days in travel.
Yeah.
Because they're ahead. So you leave on a Monday morning, you get there Tuesday night.
Right.
So you lose 2 days, and then you don't, unless you're leaving, assuming you're counting the 14th day is when you land in here, that's still 24 hours of you coming back here.
Yeah.
Even with the time difference. So like I say, we went for 3 weeks this time. It was 18 days. We had 18 days of planned stuff, and 1 day is loss of jet lag, so call it 17.
Right.
So, and then in your country that cool and that big, it's really not a lot of time.
No.
We were able to do it. I could plan a perfect jam-packed 2-week vacation for somebody there, but I would just say if you can, do 2.5 or 3. But 2 week, the very first time I ever went was 2 weeks, and like you can get a lot done. But you're hustling, like But there's lots.
Is there a lot of swimming there? I feel like it's a weird question.
Is that?
I feel like it's a strange question.
Yeah. Is there a swim team that I can get on?
You always see beautiful pictures of like the ocean and stuff going on, but is there a lot of beaches? Is it?
I was going to say, I think the better question would be like, is there a lot of bodies of water? Because if there's bodies of water, I'm assuming you're gonna swim in it or drown in it. So I think there will be swimming. But yeah, I mean, so there's two sides. I always say there's two sides to Thailand. There's the north and the south. South is where you go to the islands, beaches, water, and all that stuff. And they have some of the best, scuba diving.
That's where you see all the like big rock formations that are like sheltering this little beach from the ocean. There are
there are some of that in Thailand also. As well. There's no shortage of islands. The famous ones being out like Phuket or Koh Phi Phi, which is where the movie The Beach was filmed. That they put on the map. And then there's like Koh Tao, Koh Samui, and Koh Phangan, which is famous for like the full moon parties. So they are. The difference is, I always say, if you're going to just go to the islands, you start to pay island prices. Like you're paying beers are, $4 or $5, not $1 or $2.
Right.
Food is going to cost you $10, $12, not $2 or $3.
Yeah.
So it gets a little more expensive. Again, depending on what time of year you go. I always, if I plan somebody's trip, I always say like go to the islands for like 3-4 days, but the majority of the trip should be spent in the north. And again, I still went to a ton of waterfalls and jumped in the waters and stuff like that in the north. But as far as like beaches and islands, that stuff is in the south of
Just really into swimming. All right, I think we're coming up on time. Jamie, do you have what's going on? Where can people see you? Where can people find you?
Winks Wednesdays, man. Come and see me at Winks Wednesdays.
That's the big one.
Well, that's the one I can hang out. So I selfishly just say come there because I can actually sit down and talk. Otherwise, you're just watching me play, which I guess I'm assuming anybody who listens to this probably has already heard me play. I post a lot. I post all my gigs. It changes all the time. I am playing a little more restaurants. We're coming into the summer. I'll be playing a lot more breweries. Wineries.
Where can people follow you on?
On the Insta, Verbal Karate Music. Verbal Karate Music. Used to be Verbal Karate Band, but it made no sense because it's just me. I switched it after like 11 years. I switched my Instagram handle to Verbal Karate Music. And and if you're cute, you can follow me on Facebook. Boy or girl?
You can see him on Tinder, Grindr, Bumble, Hinge. He's on all of them.
I gave up Tinder when I got the girlfriend, but Grindr you can still find me. very late on Fridays and Saturdays.
Yeah, you can't come to my place.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, again, I'm not here to plug anything. Casa del Beardo hot sauce. I'm that's just on the back burner. I still do it. But mostly for my repeat customers, I always do that. But maybe I'll start pushing that again.
What's the name of the hot sauce?
Casa del Beardo.
We've had it. We have it.
Yeah, it's in my phone.
Okay, yeah. I remember enjoying it, but I can.
Yeah, I can say it's very good.
You only would have had it with him. Yeah. So I mean, that's in the back burner. But yeah, music, and hot sauce and.
How many different hot sauces do you make?
4.
4?
Yeah.
Sorry, I like hot sauce. I like hot sauce a lot.
Yeah, strawberry, which is kind of my flagship one that did really well at the Hot Sauce Expo. Mango, peach, and pineapple. They're all popular, but I think strawberry was the one that people didn't expect to love. Yeah, fermented, healthy for you. Kind of made. Do you
have a website or something?
I do casadelbeardo.com, but it just bounces you to my Facebook page because
it's the easiest
because we're not all graphic designers.
I know. Why don't we have a website? Jesus,
you don't?
No, we don't have a website.
It'll take you like 5 seconds. What do you mean? I thought you would have made the website before the podcast.
Yeah, I don't know. Someone was getting lazy. Yeah.
What are you guys up to? Enough about me. What are you guys up to?
Doing a daily podcast.
No,
not daily.
I was gonna say daily.
No, not daily.
That's
weekly.
So intense.
We do it every week. We've done it every week. This is going on.
What episode is it? I mean,
This is season 2, episode 1.
Oh.
Yeah.
Season 2, episode 1. Right on.
This is our premiere that we're opening up with this.
Sick.
Yeah.
And when is this gonna air?
What day would it be? Shit. A week from Wednesday.
Yeah.
So
February 1st.
A week from then. February 8th.
All right. Great job on having 7.
I would say February 1st is this upcoming Wednesday, so the Wednesday after that.
Yeah.
Sick. And this is a music edition, so we got Corey Malthinger coming up next. Sorry, not next, but yes.
In the rotation somewhere.
You'll be first, and then probably...
He's a good musician who never plays music.
They're playing in Toronto.
Oh, yeah, when?
They played Tale of the Junction like a couple weeks ago, and they're going back.
So cut that out. He's a great musician who plays all the time.
Yeah, he's a great musician who plays all the time. Well, awesome, dude. Thanks for coming and hanging out.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me. Long overdue. First guest ever.
First guest ever. Oh my god, what a funny interview. That's so funny. We just listened to the whole thing just now. It wasn't recorded a couple weeks ago. I definitely remember everything we talked about.
Oh, wow. Remember.
What a guy.
Wow, remember.
Remember when? Remember that was so good? What a funny guy.
That was awesome.
Incredible. What a nice guy. You can find J-Me. A lot of places online. Verbal Karate Band, Verbal Karate Music, something like that. I think he talks about it at the end. I think he talks about it.
He lays it out.
Go see him. If you ever see him playing shows or whatever, go see him. It's a fantastic time. He's got an awesome voice.
You'll often find us hanging around in the crowd if you do.
I mean, every time I go out, I see J-Me. I don't know what this guy does, if he's just following me or he's omnipresent or I don't know what it is.
Yeah, he actually has this drone that follows you around all day.
See, I thought so.
Yeah.
People have been flying drones and following. There's people that, I don't know if you've heard of gang stalking. You ever heard of gang stalking?
No.
It's a mental disorder that people have where they think that like everyone in the world is watching them in like a gang. And they'll think that like other people in the mall are like part of a group that's studying them and following them, and they'll just go up to random people and be like, "Stop following me!"
Like the Truman Show?
Yeah, exactly like the Truman Show, but instead of cameras, it's just people watching you and like keeping an eye on you.
I feel like that's schizophrenia and paranoia.
It is. But look up on YouTube gang stalking. There'll be like a guy on like a highway overpass, like pointing his camera at all the cars, just driving by, and he's like, "They're not even trying to hide it anymore." All these people coming by just to watch me see what I'm doing. And they're following me because I know the truth.
Holy fuck.
It's a crazy rabbit hole to go down.
Yeah.
Or there'll be like this guy walking through the mall with like his phone in his pocket recording, and he's like, "I finally have the proof. They're watching me." And he'll just be walking, and some guy will walk past him and like look at him because he's got his phone in his pocket recording. Yeah. He's like, "What the fuck?" And the guy would be like, "See, looked right at me. Looked right at me, scanning my face. He knows he's following me." It's fucking crazy.
What the fuck,
yeah, man,
dude.
check it out.
Can you imagine thinking that all the time?
Oh, it's got to be the worst form of existence.
Yeah, that would drive me insane. I'd be like, I don't know. I'd probably freak out and scream at people.
Yeah, probably. That's what they do.
Leave me alone! Leave me alone! I can't do this! Why don't you just move to the middle of the woods at that point?
I think they do, and then they die, because not everyone's prepared to live in the woods.
Yeah, they should do a class with me.
Yeah, with me. I'll take you out in the woods sometime. I'll show you. I'll show you. You can show me how to survive. I'll show you how to live.
9 to 5 is how you survive. I ain't trying to survive. I'm trying to live it to the limit and love it a lot.
That sounds cute. That's really nice.
Yep. Illuminati wants my mind, soul, and my body.
Yeah?
And I'm prepared to give it to them.
Tenting your fingers.
What? What's wrong, Josh?
Nothing. Rockefeller Records. Stay reasonable.
Keep doubting.
We've been J Money and C Griff, joined by J-Me Shrier.
Thank you very much,
Thank
folks.
you very much for listening. Well, I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.